Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to our April All Stakeholder webinar for the Summer EBT program known as SumBucks. I am Osmar Meza, and I am one of the analysts assisting with the SumBucks implementation. I'll hand it over to Valeria, who will help us get started with and go over meeting controls and cover a few housekeeping slides. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Osmar. Hello, everyone. My name is Valeria. I'm one of the analysts working on the SumBucks program. As you may have noted, this is a Zoom webinar. This webinar will be held in listen-only mode. The meeting invitation also provides the option to connect to audio via phone or computer, depending on your preference. This webinar will be recorded. As soon as the recording becomes available, you may follow the YouTube link on the SumBucks webpage or go to the CDSS YouTube website to access the video recording. Next slide, please. While this webinar is in listen-only mode, you can ask about the program and today's content by using the Q&A section. To do so, select the Q&A button located on the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. You're welcome to submit a question at any time during the webinar, and they will be collected and answered at the end of the webinar during our Q&A period. Next slide, please. We're also offering the chat feature in addition to Q&A. Please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, share your name, location, and organization if applicable. Note that when using this feature, you have the option to select everyone, which is the default, or to select a specific participant to send your chat to. If you're having any logistical issues, you can use the chat function and to ask for support from our co-host, Shanshan Chen, who is handling logistics today. To do so, go to Meeting Controls, select Shanshan Chen in the drop-down, type in your logistic question and hit Enter. They will then respond and provide you with an answer to your question. The chat feature is to be used for logistical questions only. All program questions should be asked in the Q&A section so we can keep better track of, respond to, and document the questions. We also have live Spanish interpretation for this meeting. You can access the Spanish language audio by using the interpretation button in the meeting controls. Next slide, please. In today's webinar, we will provide a brief background and an overview of SumBucks to ensure everyone is on the same page. We'll also share 2024 highlights, including outcomes and outreach efforts. We'll also provide disaster response and customer service updates. We will also discuss 2025 program planning, which will include an important update on the status of our plan for operations and management, 2025 program reminders, and planned 2025 outreach campaigns. And as always, we will go over our next webinar and we'll provide some time for questions and answers. And with that being said, I will hand it over to Karen to get started. Next slide, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karen Sosenya, and I'm a manager in the SumBucks team. We'll go over the SumBucks program in the next few slides. Next slide, please. Thank you. For those of you who have been with us for almost a year now, you're probably familiar with the following slides. However, for anyone that's just joining us, we want to provide a brief background on SumBucks. And first, we want to define terminology that will be important to know to understand upcoming slides. One of the requirements for SumBucks eligibility is that a child attend a school that participates in the National School Lunch Program, also known as NSLP, or the School Breakfast Program known as S-EBT. The NSLP and SBP are federal programs available to qualifying schools that serve meals to students. It is overseen by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and administered by the California Department of Education. These programs are federal and state reimbursement programs for healthy, quality meals served and meet federal requirements. Schools that operate NSLP and SBP are required to offer free or reduced price meals to eligible children. Another term we may refer to throughout this presentation is the summer operational period. And for California, the summer operational period is June 1st through August 31st. This year, because the 31st falls on a weekend, we extended it to September 1st. And the reason for this is the Department of Education reviewed all available school calendars and found that over 90% of California schools are on break during this time. In California, the compulsory age to attend school for children is ages 6 through 18. So when we say school age in the following slides, we are referring to children between the ages of 6 and 18. And lastly, you will hear the term CEP or Provision to School. CEP stands for Community Eligibility Provision School. CEP or Provision to Schools allow the nation's highest poverty schools and districts to serve breakfast and lunch at no cost to all enrolled students without collecting household applications. Next slide, please. Thank you. So a little bit of a background on what SumBucks is. So SumBucks program, it helps families with school-age children buy groceries during the summer months when kids might not have access to school meals. In California, eligible kids receive one lump sum of $120 worth of SumBucks that are loaded onto an electronic benefit transfer card, or EBT card for short, for June, July, and August. These months are the summer operational period, or the time period that SumBucks are intended to help families meet their nutritional needs. SumBucks can be used just like a debit card to buy food like fruits, vegetables, meat, whole grains, and dairy at grocery stores, farmers market, and other places that accept CalFresh benefits. Children who get SumBucks can still participate in other summer meal programs. And unfortunately, SumBucks cannot be used for things like hot foods, pet foods, cleaning or household supplies, personal hygiene items, or medicine. In short, SumBucks benefits work like CalFresh benefits. Next slide, please. Here we have the SumBucks ABCs, and the SumBucks ABCs of eligibility are the method through which a child can be eligible for SumBucks. Groups B and C in the mango color on the right are those that are automatically enrolled due to what's called streamlined certification. These include children receiving CalFresh, CalWorks, and Medi-Cal under 185% of the federal poverty level, or those who are certified for free or reduced price meals through direct certification, categorical eligibility, or NSLP SBP participation. There's a much smaller group of children in Group A who are not streamlined certified, and it's those in the tomato color on the left. And these children need to apply by submitting a school meal application or a universal benefits application. And please be aware that some children receiving Medi-Cal may need to apply. And in the following slides, we'll go over specific circumstances where children who get Medi-Cal will need to apply and use the new universal benefits application. Next slide, please. Thank you. So as we mentioned, not all children receiving Medi-Cal are streamlined certified. Children who get supplemental security income or state supplementary payment, also known as SSI, SSP, or the adoption assistance program can also get Medi-Cal, but may not be certified at or under 185% of the federal poverty level and will need to apply through the child's school. For 2025, Group A eligibility, as we mentioned in the previous slide, families must submit a school meal application or a universal benefits application to their child's school by September 1st. And then the latter of which we'll go over in the next slide. Next slide, please. We are happy to announce that the universal benefits application has been released in English through the CDE website. We will post a link in the chat as well. And UBA translations are forthcoming, and we will share these as soon as they become available. This application is used and accepted by LEAs to determine SUMBUCS eligibility, among other programs. The UBAs will be available for provision schools, which again are the community eligibility provision or provision 2 schools, and it'll be used to make SUMBUCS eligibility determinations for non-directly certified students. Local education agencies can use the template to customize their systems as well, and families that need to apply through a UBA are encouraged to inquire with their schools on how to submit a UBA. With that said, unlike summer 2024, we will not accept alternative income forms as applications for the SUMBUCS program for 2025. It'll be strictly through the Universal Benefits application or UBA. We'll continue to share UBA updates through our upcoming webinars as the template and its translations are published on our SUMBUCS website. We appreciate your patience as we gather this information to be able to post it for you online. It is important also to understand that the school year 2025 income requirements for reduced price meals will also apply to the universal benefits application when determining SUMBUCS eligibility. Next slide, please. To be eligible for SUMBUCS 2025 through reduced price meals or a universal benefits application, children must be a part of a household in which the income is confirmed to be at or below 185% of the federal poverty level. The table on the slide reflects the income threshold for 2025-2026 eligibility to reduced price meals in the school nutrition programs. This table is effective from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th of 2026. For children in a household to be determined eligible for SUMBUCS 2025, the household must not exceed the limits displayed on the table. And please note the income guidelines for free school meals have a lower income threshold, but to be eligible for SUMBUCS, eligibility for reduced price meals is sufficient. To determine income eligibility, the parent or guardian must submit a school meal application or universal benefits application at their school site. Next slide, please. And an important distinction we want to make is regarding the California Universal School Meal Program. UMP, as it's abbreviated, provides free school meals to every child, regardless of whether they are eligible for free or reduced price meals, as defined by the federal government. Parents or guardians may confuse their child receiving free meals through UMP as enrollment in free or reduced price meals program. And it's important to not equate receiving free school meals as eligibility for SUMBUCS. UMP participants do not automatically get SUMBUCS and may need to submit a school meal application or UBA with their child's school by September 1st to be eligible for SUMBUCS if they do not meet the criteria for Group B or C in the eligibility slide discussed earlier. And with that said, I will go ahead and hand it over to Osmar, who will be going over our 2024 highlights. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. So hello, everyone. I'm introducing myself again. My name is Osmar Meza, and I'm an analyst in the SUMBUCS team. So the next few slides we have prepared will be covering SUMBUCS program outcomes and highlights of 2024. Next slide, please. So first off, we have our outcomes reports. We want you to know that our preliminary report is still being finalized and will be released by this spring. The preliminary reports will detail the actions taken and outcomes achieved during the first year of the SUMBUCS program. Additionally, our final outcomes report is anticipated to be released in summer 2025 or summer or fall of 2025 and will include card issuance data by county. The SUMBUCS team is working diligently on these reports, and we appreciate your patience. We will continue to communicate updates on this topic through these webinars. Next slide, please. So moving on to some key SUMBUCS metrics and outcomes. This table uses our most recent data as of April 6th, 2025. In total, families have pinned 4,309,369 cards for a pin rate of 76.9%. The value of the benefits on those cards is $517,104,963. Of those benefits, families have spent $499,969,110 with 55 cents, which is approximately 96.7% of the value of the pinned cards. A key takeaway from this table is that families across California that received and pinned their SUMBUCS EBT card used 97% of the benefits received. This highlights the importance of this program and the need that is out there in the community. The chart on the right looks at the total number of cards that we've mailed out. We have the same 4.3 million cards with pins selected. We also have 344,153 cards that were undeliverable. This results in 964,775 cards that were neither returned as undeliverable nor pinned. It's worth noting that some of those 960,000 cards may have gone to the wrong address due to the bad data or to families moving, or because of families moving, some of whom may have called into the call center to get a replacement card. Moreover, some cards may have gone to families that simply chose not to participate in the program. At this point in our SUMBUCS 2024 program timeline, we anticipate our data metrics to change very slightly, if at all, as families use the remaining balances on their card and unused benefits begin to expire. Those slight changes may be seen as increases to the food purchased value, with minimal changes to other stats displayed. Now, I'll hand it over to Bernardo to go over our outreach efforts. Next slide, please.
Yo, Osmar. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bernardo, and I'm an analyst in the SUMBUCS team. Before we get started on our outreach overview for 2024, we want to take this time to thank our partners and stakeholders for their continued support of the SUMBUCS team. Your work hugely contributes to the success of SUMBUCS. To recap, we've had the pleasure to attend the California School Nutrition 72nd Annual Conference, Food Access 2024, and the 2024 CDSS Annual Tribal Summit to share information about SUMBUCS. Also, we've continued to utilize various outreach efforts to inform the public on SUMBUCS. We'll share a link to the CDSS YouTube channel in the chat, where you can find information on SUMBUCS via the SUMBUCS playlist. As we begin to close our 2024-2025 year, we want to provide you a quick snapshot of all the outreach materials we've published throughout the year. Next slide, please. Here is a visual representation of the outreach SUMBUCS has conducted and published in 2024. To highlight some of our first outreach efforts, starting on the left side of the timeline, our first ever SUMBUCS All-Stakeholder webinar held in February 2024. our first social media post, and the release of All County Welfare Directors Letter in May 2024, as well as our first newsletter and news release published in June 2024. The bulk of our outreach efforts occurred between May and September 2024, which closely aligns with our 2024 summer operational period, as well as a strategic and focused outreach approach as identified by our partners to increase program awareness, encourage Sunbucks card usage, and to inform families under special circumstances to apply for a Sunbucks benefit eligibility determination. All outreach materials can be found via our Sunbucks Partners page, which we'll share a link in the chat for ease of reference. Lastly, highlighting our most recent outreach publication, the CDSS Sunbucks January 2025 newsletter. Next slide, please. We're happy to provide an update on this publication and announce the Sunbucks January 2025 newsletter is now translated into all 18 threshold languages and are all available for use via the CDSS Sunbucks Partners page. As always, please feel free to share with your communities and networks. Now let's talk about our 2024-2025 Sunbucks automated messaging campaigns. Next slide, please. Automated messaging consists of emails, text messages, and phone calls that are sent to Sunbucks card recipients. Automated messaging has become a great way to notify Sunbucks families of important information regarding their Sunbucks benefits. In this slide, we present our current automated messaging campaign timeline. In total, we have sent over 3.3 million messages to California families statewide across all campaigns. To recap, for stage 1, automated messaging started in May 2024 and ended August 2024. Over 1.4 million total messages were sent to families whose children were directly certified for Sunbucks in stage 1. For stage 2, automated messaging started in September 2024 and ended January 2025. Over 154,000 total messages were sent to households determined eligible to Sunbucks after stage 1. For benefit expungement, automated messaging started in August 2024 and continues weekly as needed until May 2025. As of March 10, 2025, over 1.4 million total messages have been sent to notify families their Sunbucks card has a balance greater than $0 and to be sure to use Sunbucks before they expire or federally known as expunged. And finally, a total of 387 disaster response automated messaging was sent to notify families to contact the Sunbucks helpline to report food loss that was purchased with Sunbucks due to a recent disaster. We'll cover disaster messaging in a few slides. We expect a minimal increase in automated messaging to occur from now until May 2025 for the 2024-2025 year. Our outreach team is using this time as an opportunity to finalize 2025 to 2026 automated messaging outreach efforts. We anticipate Sunbucks 2025 will support stage 1, stage 2, benefit expungement, and disaster response automated messaging. 2025 outreach details will be discussed in later slides. For now, I'll hand it over to Valerie to go over Sunbucks disaster response. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Bernardo. Good afternoon. My name is Valeria, or Valerie, and I am an analyst of the Sunbucks program. We will now look into the Sunbucks disaster response. Next slide, please. We will start by explaining how the disaster response works for Sunbucks. Sometimes families may experience a disaster or household misfortune that results in food loss after they have already purchased food with their SunBucks benefits. SunBucks rules allows families to request for replacement benefits to help them recover the loss of food that they used SunBucks benefits to purchase. Families who are impacted by a disaster or household misfortune ordinarily have about 10 or have 10 days to report their food loss to the SunBucks helpline. Household misfortunes include but are not limited to power outages or evacuations. Households can make a request for benefit replacements by calling 877-328-9677 and pressing option 5. Approved requests will have benefits reissued within 40 days. Households may have additional time to report the food loss if there is a federal approval of a timely reporting extension, or TRE, for their area, which we will provide more information about in the upcoming slides. We want to stress that benefit replacements are exactly that. They are replacements for food that were purchased with SunBucks and subsequently lost. Families experiencing a disaster or household misfortune are not automatically eligible for replacement SunBucks. Those who receive SunBucks but have not received any benefits yet and then experience a disaster are not eligible for replacements. The table on the right captures the impact of our disaster response that has gone through 2024 and the 2025 year. Our efforts have resulted in helping 447 California households that lost food due to a disaster. This translates to $34,323 in replacements replaced. Next slide, please. As explained in the previous slide, the federal approved timely reporting extension, or TRE, provides additional time for impacted SunBucks households to report their food loss due to major disasters in their area. The standard 10-day timeframe to report an incident of SunBucks food loss is extended to 30 days. The table displayed on the left side of this slide shows that we have an extension to the TRE for Shasta County due to the winter storms that extended until March 6th. As a reminder, households in the impacted zip codes that were affected by recent disasters can make a request for the replacement of SunBucks benefits by calling 877-328-9677 and pressing 5. Please note that there are currently no active timely reporting extensions at this time. Information about active and past time reporting extensions and individual replacements can be found on the Disaster Respond webpage that will be shared in the chat. This webpage includes the basics on how timely reporting extensions work and a list of current and past TREs. Next slide, please. When a timely reporting extension, or TRE, is approved, SunBucks sends out an automated message to families notifying them of an extension to request a benefit replacement. The automated messages are sent to families who have used their benefits, who live in an area of the disaster for which a TRE is approved, and also have a contact phone number or email on file. Email and text messages are sent out in English and in Spanish to families approximately 5 days from the TRE approval. For families who will receive an English message if their message is other than English or Spanish. For our last campaign to Shasta County, messages were sent to families on February 21st, notifying them of the extension to March 6th. Next slide, please. We will now transition to customer service. Next slide, please. Customer service is a huge piece to the success of the program. The helpline phone number is provided on this slide and can also be found in the card mailer on the back of the Sunbucks cards and on our website. The call center helps families with PIN setup, card replacements, provide expungement dates, address changes, both general and complex eligibility questions, and field escalations to CDSS and CDE as necessary. Escalations could include requests for benefit replacements due to household misfortune and eligibility disputes. Next slide, please. Now we'd like to share some data on the calls received in the past 2 months since our last webinar. The first table shows the total number of calls received in March, broken down by language for a total of 54 calls. The second table shows the calls received for April 1st to the 7th, also broken down by language for a total of 19,200 calls. Overall, we continue to see a steady decrease in total calls per month when compared to the highest call month, which is July. In July, the total calls were 189,569 calls. Call volume is decreasing, likely to fewer car issuances during this time when compared to the first stage of car issuances during the summer. For April 2025, the largest number of calls were regarding benefit expunged, eligibility question, PIN issues, car mailing and status, and demographic change. Next slide, please. Let's talk about duplicate car issuances. The Sunbucks team has been made aware that there are some instances in which families are receiving more than one Sunbucks card for the same child. As a reminder, each eligible child is entitled to only one issuance of $120 for the period. If a child receives more than one issuance, the family must notify the Sunbucks helpline immediately by calling 877-328-9677 and must destroy the extra card received. Now I'll hand things over to Jeremy to go over 2025 program planning. Next slide, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Valeria. My name is Jeremy Pagan, and I'm the manager in the Sunbucks team. Coming up, we have the most exciting part of our presentation, our 2025 program planning. Next slide, please. In the last few webinars, we mentioned that our IPOM, or Interim Plan for Operations and Management, was approved, and we were working toward receiving approval for our 2025 POM. We are extremely happy to announce that our 2025 POM has now been approved. For those wondering what the POM is, the POM is a detailed plan that states, territories, and tribal organizations must submit to the FNS to operate the Sunbucks program. It outlines how they will identify, enroll, and issue benefits to eligible children, along with detailing other program operational plans and waiver requests. Now that our POM has been approved, we want to highlight some key points that will carry over from 2024 to 2025. Next slide, please. First is streamline eligibility. As shown in an earlier slide, streamline eligibility continues to exist for children who are 6 through 18 years old and receive CalFresh, CalWORKS, or Medi-Cal at or below 185% of the federal poverty level, and children who are 0 through 22 years old and attending a school that operates the National School Lunch and/or school breakfast programs and are certified for free or reduced price meals. As described in previous slides, children attending CEP or provision schools will have to apply for Sunbucks this year, where last year a lot of those children were automatically eligible from school census data, also known as alternative income forms. The Universal Benefit Application, or UBA, will be the mechanism for non-streamline or application-based eligibility. Families who apply using the UBA can submit the completed forms to their school or school administrator's office. To ensure families receive their Sunbucks EBT cards, it's crucial to keep addresses up to date with both schools and county welfare departments, as Sunbucks EBT cards for streamlined eligible children are mailed to the address on file with their school and/or county welfare department. Additionally, we'd like to remind everyone that getting Sunbucks does not impact immigration status. As always, please visit the Sunbucks webpage for the most up-to-date information. Next slide, please. We estimate that approximately 5.6 million children may be eligible to Sunbucks by either streamlined eligibility or by application. 67% of children eligible to Sunbucks come from CalSAWs, specifically those children receiving CalFresh, CalWorks, and Medi-Cal, whereas 33% of our data comes from the California Longitudinal Pupil Achievement Data System, also known as CalPADS, used by schools and the Department of Education for free and reduced price meals eligibility. This figure incorporates both those children who are streamlined certified by their schools and those who must apply through the Universal Benefits Application. Because there is overlap for how a child is determined eligible, this raises the question, what happens for households or individual children that are participating in multiple programs that confer Sunbucks eligibility? In these cases, the Sunbucks team has established a hierarchy shown to the right of the screen to determine which address on file the card will go to. Children that are identified as eligible through both CalSAWs and CalPADS will get their card at the address listed in CalSAWs. For example, if a child was identified by the Department of Education through a school match, but they also receive CalWorks, the mailing address on the CalWorks case will take priority over the mailing address in the school system if they are different. Next slide, please. Now let's discuss how and when households can expect to receive their benefits. Households will begin receiving their Sunbucks benefits for 2025 in June. Due to the large volume of streamlined certified kids, the issuances will occur in 2 stages. Stage 1, households will begin receiving their cards in June and will continue through July. The addresses the kids in groups B and C from the previous slides who are streamlined certified. Cards will be mailed to children in alpha order, A through Z. To be clear, Stage 1 issuances are expected to be completed sometime in July. Stage 2. Households will begin receiving their cards in August. These issuances can only begin after Stage 1 is complete. These issuances will address new eligibility determinations made in the summer operational period. These will include kids in Group A, described earlier, who completed the Universal Benefits Application or become newly eligible through summer meals applications, CalWorks, CalFresh, and Medi-Cal. This stage will also include any issuances as a result of escalations. This means that we will continue to send cards after August. Regardless of when the card is mailed or received, every Sunbucks card will still be loaded with the full $120 per child. Next slide, please. On the screen is our preliminary design for the front and back of the 2025 Sunbucks EBT card. We note that the back of the card may not be yellow in the final design. Sunbucks benefits are provided on an electronic benefit transfer card, or EBT card. One card is issued per eligible child for the entirety of the summer. Benefits will be issued in a lump sum payment of $120, as described earlier, for the entire summer, and will be issued to each eligible child. Benefits will begin issuing in alphabetical order by last name. The Code of Federal Regulations requires benefits be expunged or removed 22 days from when the benefits are loaded onto the card. Benefits cannot be reloaded onto cards once they have been removed. Families who also receive CalFresh should prioritize using their Sunbucks cards first before they expire. We'd like to note that expungement date is not printed on the card or any of the accompanying documents. Customers may contact the Sunbucks helpline if they would like to know their card expungement date. For enhanced security, we encourage cardholders to download the free EBT Edge mobile app to create a PIN and learn how to protect their benefits. This tool will provide Sunbucks cardholders with enhanced card security features, including the ability to freeze or unfreeze the card, change their PIN, and check their balance. More info can be found at www.ebt.ca.gov, and we'll post the link in the chat. Now, let's talk about our 2025 planned outreach campaigns. Next slide, please. Looking ahead to summer 2025, on screen are our planned 25-26 outreach campaigns. We anticipate the return of our 2025 expungement, benefit issuances, and disaster response outreach campaigns. All of the returning campaigns primarily consist of sending out automated messages to households identified as potentially benefiting from the campaign. For our returning campaigns, the details are similar to our previous 2024 automated messaging recap slide, with a few changes. Our automated messaging will not support voice messaging in 25-26, only text and email. For expungement, we hope to include the mailing of physical postcards as part of the notification repertoire we have available. This will allow us to reach families for which a phone number or email is not available. More information on this effort is forthcoming. For benefit issuances, there will be no further changes. Messaging will consist primarily of automated messaging in the form of email and text, as well as the mailer insert provided with the Sunbucks EBT card mail envelope. For 2025 disaster response, automated messaging will be conducted as similar to 2024. For our new outreach campaigns, How to Get Sunbucks 2025 campaign will consist of a flyer and social media posts. The aim is to introduce Sunbucks 2025 to the public and explain how folks can make sure their kids get Sunbucks. The Applications for Medi-Cal Only Families campaign will consist of a flyer, automated messaging, and social media posts. The goal of this campaign is to inform families with Medi-Cal only that they may need to apply for Sunbucks if their child gets Medi-Cal without a certified household income at or under 185% of the federal poverty level. The Sunbucks card pinning reminder campaign will also consist of a flyer, automated messaging, and social media posts. This message will be sent to all households with unpinned cards approximately 30 days after the cards are mailed in the 24-25 year. We learned that some families may change addresses without reflecting the change in our data sources. This results in their Sunbucks card being mailed to the wrong address. While we encourage families to report and update address changes to their local county office and school administrator, this effort serves as an additional tool to help families get their cards before the benefits are expunged. Now I'll hand it over to Osmar to cover our Q&A section. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Jeremy. Now let's review the Q&A section together. But before we do that, there's a quick reminder that this webinar was recorded. A link to all presentation materials will be published on the website once available. Please note that these require time and patience for ADA accessibility and translation. You can find recordings from our prior stakeholder webinars on the Sumbucks playlist as part of the CDSS YouTube channel. You can see the link to the page on this slide. Now, let's hear from you. What questions do you have? A reminder that you can ask your questions using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. We will respond verbally and in writing. For now, I'll go over the questions that have already been asked and answered throughout this webinar. The first question we have starts with a comment. It says, "So glad to see there will be some standard translations of the UBA. Could you share what languages besides English the UBA will be available in?" The answer to that is, "Hi, Amy. The CDE is working with our multilingual clearinghouse to translate the UBA template into other threshold languages. The threshold languages are Spanish, Arabic, Armenian, that being Eastern and Western, Chinese, including traditional and simplified, Farsi, or Persian, Hindi, Hmong, Japanese, Cambodian, Korean, Lao, Brazilian Portuguese and Continental, Punjabi, Russian, Samoan, Tagalog, Ukrainian, Urdu, and Vietnamese. The second question we have is, if parents fill out the UBA in June, which guidelines are we to use? 2024-25 or 25 and 26? The answer to this is the income eligibility guidelines are applicable for each school year. If the application is submitted on or before June 30, 2025, then the 2024-25 guidelines are to be used. For applications submitted on or after July 1st, 2025, the 2025-26 guidelines are to be used. Third question we have is, when are Sumbucks cards planned to start being mailed out? The answer to this is, families will begin receiving Sumbucks cards in June. We will provide more information later in the webinar. And I believe this question was answered. It was asked at an earlier stage of the webinar. So we have, if we alter the UBA form for our processing purposes, do we need to send it in for approval before we offer it to parents? The answer is no. The UBA template may be modified so long as it collects all required components listed on the application. Following question is, will we get a copy of the presentation? The answer is yes. A copy will be made available along with the recording of this presentation. Do we have any data on Sumbucks specific helpline utilization? Is the same line as a regular EBT helpline? The answer to this question is we will be going over call center data in a few slides. Our following question is, where and how will UBA data be reported to? UBA data will be reported to the CDE's Education Data Collection System, or EDCS. More information on Sumbucks 2025 data collection can be found here. And we have a link that I will post in the chat. Now we have a question that asks, how many students for 2025 are likely streamlined versus having to apply? The answer to this is we are estimating approximately 4.4 streamlined children and 1.1 children that need to apply. Following question is the alpha order of name delivery for cards by last or first name? The answer to this question is it will be alphabetical order by last name. The next question is, are recipients informed which dates their cards were loaded or when their benefits expire? The answer to this is no, the information is not provided. Families can, however, contact the Sunbucks helpline to inquire when their benefits will expunge. Our next question is, do you know what outreach CDE is planning to school districts? I've heard of families ask for a UBA application and the school doesn't know what they are talking about. Is there a phone number to refer the school to so they can learn more? The answer to this question is the CDE is hosting a Sunbucks webinar, or LEAs, tomorrow at 2 p.m. LEAs can email their questions to summerebt@cde.ca.gov. And if I could have the logistics panelist go ahead and post that on the chat, that would be very helpful, please. Our next question is, what is the contact information for the Sunbucks call center that people can reach out to if they have questions regarding Sunbucks, eligibility, or the UBA? The answer to this is they may call 877-328-9677 and press option 5. Our next question is, just to confirm, for children who only receive Medi-Cal, is the UBA the application they need to complete? The answer to this question is children who receive Medi-Cal certified above 185% of the federal poverty level can submit a school meal application or UBA to their school. The next question is, if a customer hasn't received a card by August 1st, should they submit a UBA? The answer to this question is families with children at CEP schools and P2 or non-base year schools who are not directly certified or categorically eligible should submit a UBA before September 1st of 2025. And our last question is, when are the benefits placed on the card? I want to ensure the customer has enough time to use the benefits. The answer to this question is, benefits are placed on the card a couple of days after the card has been mailed to maximize the time available to spend the card. Now, I see we have one pending question, so while we wait, go ahead and read that out loud once we get our answer. Okay. Our final question is, when will counties receive a listing of individuals that are using the district office mailing address that will be receiving a Sunbucks card? Counties will receive the district office lists sometime in May before cards begin mailing. All right. Well, with that, now that we're closer to the summer 2025 operational period, we are resuming our monthly webinars. Our next webinar will be on Tuesday, May 20th from 2 to 3 p.m. Please be on the lookout for May's invites. Meanwhile, feel free to email your questions to sumbucks@dss.ca.gov. The email has been shared in the chat. Please also remember that all webinar materials will be sent out to everyone on the email distribution list once they become available. Next slide, please. So thank you everyone for your participation. We look forward to seeing you in the next webinar. Please have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next month.